Did you know the CIA once secretly studied how to leave the body, see across time and space, and unlock the hidden potential of human consciousness, and then quietly declassified the results? This wasn't fiction. This was real. A program called the Gateway Process was developed in the 1980s, and when it was finally released to the public years later, it confirmed what many spiritual seekers had always sensed. Reality is not what it seems. Now imagine this. A government program intended for military advantage ends up revealing some of the deepest spiritual truths known to humanity. What started as an exploration of consciousness using sound frequencies, meditation, and brainwave synchronization turned into a journey into the nature of existence itself. The CIA's Declassified Gateway Report didn't just study the mind, it unintentionally uncovered the blueprint of the universe. The Gateway Process was a collaboration between the U.S. Army and the Monroe Institute. They used something called Hemi-Sync, a technique that synchronizes both hemispheres of the brain using sound. When the brain enters this deeply relaxed but focused state, people begin to access non-ordinary states of consciousness. These states include out-of-body experiences, contact with higher intelligence, and even time travel. Not physical time travel, but conscious access to information beyond time and space. One of the most remarkable discoveries that emerged from the Gateway Process was the phenomenon of remote viewing. Remote viewing is the ability to mentally see distant places or events with incredible accuracy. The CIA and military actively trained individuals in this practice. They had remote viewers who could describe secret facilities, locate lost objects, or sketch unknown terrain thousands of kilometers away, all without ever leaving their rooms. And these weren't just coincidences. The results were consistent and replicable. This wasn't about believing in psychic abilities. It was about observing consciousness as something that can reach beyond physical boundaries. But what's truly fascinating is that ancient spiritual traditions have spoken about this for centuries. Yogis in India, shamans in indigenous cultures, Tibetan monks. They've all talked about the ability to project the mind, to travel in spirit, to see without seeing. The Gateway Process was science's way of stumbling into what the mystics had already mastered. Through these experiments, the researchers discovered something profound. Consciousness, they found, is not confined to the body or even to the brain. The physical world is just one layer of a much larger energetic field. And when consciousness is trained to rise above its normal limits, it no longer perceives the illusion of separation. People begin to merge with what the Gateway Report calls the Absolute, the unchanging field of infinite awareness. This is where the findings of the Gateway Process start to mirror non-duality, the spiritual teaching that says there is no separation between you and the universe. In non-duality, you are not the body, not the thoughts, not the identity. You are the pure, silent awareness behind it all. The Gateway Report refers to this as a person merging with a unified energy field, while non-duality calls it self-realization, or simply awakening. Both are pointing to the same truth. Reality is not made of solid matter. It's made of consciousness. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Science, outside of the Gateway Process, is also starting to reflect this same understanding. Think of simulation theory, the idea that we could be living inside a programmed reality, like a hyper-advanced virtual world. Scientists, philosophers, and tech experts alike have begun to question the fabric of our existence. Elon Musk and many others openly state that the chances we're not living in a simulation are extremely small. But from a non-dual perspective, simulation theory is just a modern metaphor for something ancient. In spiritual traditions, this world has always been described as an illusion. Maya in Hinduism, the dream in Buddhism, or the veil in Gnosticism. The language is different, but the insight is the same. The world is not the source of reality. It is a projection, something appearing inside consciousness. Simulation theory says we are characters inside a programmed world. Non-duality says we are dreamers lost in our own creation. Both agree that what we perceive as real is not the ultimate truth. And now, more than ever, we're seeing something beautiful. Science and spirituality are merging. Once seen as opposites, one focused on the material, the other on the immaterial, they are now speaking the same language. Quantum physics shows us that the observer affects the observed. Neuroscience reveals that the mind can shape reality. And now, declassified documents show government institutions quietly acknowledging what the mystics have always known, that reality is not separate from consciousness, it is consciousness. And this leads us to a deeper truth. You are the gateway, not the sound waves, not the technology, not the CIA program. You. Your awareness is the access point, the doorway, the stillness behind your thoughts. That's the true gateway to the infinite. The more you come into presence, the more you quiet the mind and become aware of awareness itself, the more the illusion begins to dissolve. You stop identifying with the body, with your story, with your fears. You start to see the dream for what it is. And that's when you begin to wake up, not from sleep, but from the illusion. This is what people mean when they say, exit the matrix. It's not about leaving the world physically. It's about seeing through it mentally. The matrix isn't a place. It's a belief, a thought pattern, a deeply conditioned identification with form. When you realize that you are not in the matrix, but that the matrix is in you, everything changes. So how do you apply this? How do you live it? You start by becoming still. Meditate daily, even if only for 10 minutes. Use binaural beats or Hemi-Sync if you feel drawn to it. But remember, you don't need any tool to reach the truth. Just bring your attention back to the now, back to awareness. Ask yourself, who am I? Not as an intellectual exercise, but as a doorway into direct experience. Well, notice the one who is aware of your thoughts. Stay there. Let the mind slow down. Let identity loosen. The ego will resist. It always does. But that resistance is your signal that you're getting close. And if you stay with it, if you stay open, something extraordinary happens. You begin to remember. You remember what you are. Not as a concept, but as a knowing beyond words. You are not your thoughts, not your story, not even your name. You are the awareness that sees it all. So yes, the CIA declassified the truth about reality. But that truth was never really hidden. It's always been here, right under your nose, in every moment, in every breath, in every flicker of presence that breaks through the noise. The gateway process showed that the body can be bypassed, that time can be transcended, that consciousness can expand beyond all limits. But non-duality reminds us, you don't have to go anywhere to find yourself. You just have to stop looking outside. Because in the end, the real secret is this, period. You are the dreamer. You are the field. You are the gateway. And when you realize that, the illusion no longer has power over you. If this video awakened something deep inside you, if it helped you remember that this world is not all there is, then I invite you to go even deeper. I've written a book called Awaken Your Spiritual Power, and it's now available on Amazon. This book is a guide for those walking the path of awakening, especially in a world that often tries to keep you asleep. Inside, we explore dot, the illusion of the world, and the dream of form, how to break free from the ego and the matrix, why pain, confusion, and loss are part of the awakening process, what reality really means, and how to live from it, and how to remember your true self, the eternal awareness behind all experience. Awaken Your Spiritual Power is not just a book. It's a spiritual transmission, a reminder of who you've always been beneath the noise, the roles, and the fear. Now available on Amazon. Just search for Awaken Your Spiritual Power or follow the link in the description below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for awakening. And always remember, you are the gateway.